Hi there, it's Carrie from Stamp with CT. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Time for our Facebook Live. So it is Wednesday and time to craft and connect with you. I love having this time with you. Oliver is here with me this morning, so you may hear him moving around in my room. He loves to be back here in the craft room. So I will wait just a second to allow some people to join us. Now, if you're watching the video on replay or if you're watching over on YouTube, glad to have you here as well. Good morning, Judy. So we're going to talk about mistakes today, you guys. We're going to be just real honest this morning because, you know, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, right? We make mistakes in our lives. Hi, Donna. We make mistakes in our crafting, or at least I do. And what's interesting is you guys get to see me do it on live videos. So I've gotten such a laugh at myself over putting my finger in my Blackberry Bliss ink pad last week. Oh my goodness, y'all. I had such a mess. Sometimes you just have to laugh at yourself, right? I'm a professional stamper. So today, I have another mess up that I'm going to share with you guys. So before I start talking about the project we're going to make today, you can probably already see what I did. So I typically get my supplies ready over the weekend. I start thinking about what do I want to share with you guys on our Facebook Live. And I'm a planner, so, you know, I try to have things ready. So I did that. I knew exactly what I wanted to use. I'll show you in just a minute where this beautiful Designer Series paper comes from and kind of why I wanted to use that. And I had the card pretty much designed, but I had not stamped the sentiment. So this morning I get up early, get Dale's lunch ready, see him out the door. I had stripped beds from having Tara and James here this weekend, made beds, cleaning up, just doing all my straightening. And I came in my room and we had a meeting last night, so I thought, okay, let me work on getting this video converted. I'll see if I can't get it uploaded to YouTube so Dale doesn't have to do it. And right before it was time to go live, I thought, oh, I need to stamp my sentiment on the card. Everything else was ready. I'll bring this close so y'all can see. Yeah, totally stamped it upside down. Everything was already glued on. Everything was done. So have you ever done that? Have you ever had a project completely finished and then you smudge it with your thumb through some ink, or, you know, you stamp your sentiment upside down or crooked? So there's always ways that we can fix things. So don't just throw it in the trash can, because so many times we can come up with something that we can fix things. So what I did this morning was went over to my dies, and if you could see the area with my dies, I have probably 5 or 6 different sets pulled out. And I found one that would work perfectly to just cover this up. So we're going to pop this on with some dimensionals, and we're just going to cover up the fact that I messed it up, and nobody's gonna know. Nobody is going to know other than y'all. And I know I can trust you, you know, not to sell me out here. So we're just going to get down, please, Oliver. We're just going to put some dimensionals on, and we're going to fix this. And I will tell you, part of the reason that this happened was I, quote, didn't have time to put the labels on my stamps. Well, clearly I had time, because I ended up needing time to figure out a fix for this. So had I put my labels on, that would have kept me from making this mistake. Now I want to come over just a tiny bit. Let's see. I think that's going to just camouflage that mistake. May need to move that down a tiny bit. Maybe not. But that's going to camouflage my mistake, and my card's going to look awesome. I may need to move this pearl down just a tiny bit, or maybe even add it up here. That might be pretty. Maybe right about there. Okay, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about, I got a lot of feedback about my little tip of using your Wink of Stella to add a little bit of splatter. So let's do that again today. Now I do find that that helps to use a nice new Wink of Stella that's got plenty of juice. And I know it won't really show up on camera, but it does add a little bit of shimmer and shine. I think it was Becky asked me where I learned that trick, and I do believe it was from Shelly Gardner. She's the co-founder of Stampin' Up. She has a beautiful aesthetic that's much more of a mixed media type aesthetic, and so she loves to splatter and kind of get a little bit messy, but her cards are just amazing. So I do think that's where I learned that tip. So now let's talk a little bit about the supplies that we're using today. I'll show you the Designer Series paper, and I wonder if anybody knows where this paper came from, because I'm kind of throwing you guys a curveball. This is the gorgeous Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper, and I did a class with this. It's been several months ago now. It's just such gorgeous paper. It's got like an alcohol ink effect, and then it's got the beautiful metallic running through. I used almost the entire package of paper, but I knew that I had a couple of pieces of this one that has the pale papaya and then the gold stripe. And in my mind, I really thought I was going to use this side with the gold stripe, but as I created, that's not what happened. So, to add to my story, I only had a couple of pieces of this Designer Series paper. So when I messed this up, I was really scrambling to find a scrap to fix my problem. Now, let me bring this close again. There's also some texture on this cinnamon cider piece of cardstock that I added as just a little bit of a textural element on the side of the card. And I used the cinnamon cider cardstock and ran it through the bark embossing folder. So this is an embossing folder that comes from our annual catalog. So we're going to be using fall products with products from our annual catalog that many of you already have. Let me move that down. And then I just got this pretty pumpkin bundle. So it's got a beautiful stamp set with lots of very pretty images for fall. And then there's also, let me look at the name of this because I literally just got this a day or two ago, Detailed Pumpkin Dies. So that's where our pumpkins are coming from. So we're just using a couple of die cut pumpkins and then a sentiment from this set. So I'm actually taking a training this weekend, and this bundle was part of what I need to do the make and takes for this training. So I'm really excited about this bundle. You'll be seeing it again next month. I think my Create with CT to Go class, I'm going to feature it. So I've just got a thick, basic white cardstock base. Pretty simple, straightforward card, you guys, but I think it turned out really pretty. And then we've got that piece of Designer Series paper. So that's that side with the stripe, and then just the pale papaya, and this paper is just so very pretty. Got a little strip, it's 5.5 by 3/4 of an inch that I ran through that bark embossing folder. And we're just going to, I don't really think it matters which side, but we're just going to add that over here on the side. I hope you guys love this project. I'm really getting into making fall cards, and I'm not trying to rush things, but you know, we kind of have to work ahead. So if you like creating projects for fall, now is the time to really be thinking about those. And then I've got this beautiful intricate pumpkin. Just going to put a little touch of liquid glue in a couple of places. Now after I die cut this, I thought about the fact that we've got those awesome adhesive sheets, and it's perfect. You add it to your cardstock or your Designer Series paper that you're going to be cutting, and you just attach it on, and it's double-sided sheets of adhesive. And then when you run your die through your die cut machine, adhesive is on the back. That would be perfect to use with this, but I'm just adding a touch of liquid glue, and that works fine too. And then I think for this pumpkin that I've cut from the gold foil sheet, I'm just going to add some mini dimensionals. I've found myself using mini dimensionals a lot lately. So we're just going to add a couple here and add this element. I'm forgetting something though. I need to do a little bit of stamping if I'm going to create this like I did the other one, and I think I want to. So I still don't have my labels on my stamps, and I should have done that, but I still haven't. But let me bring those stamps in. So this is just stamping on this designer series paper. I love doing this. And we're going to bring the leaf image in, and I'm using, I believe, Old Olive ink. Just kind of get placement here with this. We'll stamp those leaves, and it's just a little subtle bit of stamping in the background, but I liked what that added. I put this little guy on at an angle. Really like that too. And then because I used cinnamon cider on this strip of, with this strip of cardstock, I thought cinnamon cider would be good to stamp my greeting. And I did like the way that looked, other than the fact that it was upside down. So let me see here. I think I've got this stamp right side up. We're going to bring it up here at the top. See how we do this time. Oh, it's pretty. It turned out, well, let me look at it upside down. Sometimes I can tell better if I'm crooked. I am a little bit crooked. So let's use our fix again, you guys. Let's go ahead and come in with another die cut piece, and I just used my stitched rectangle dies to die cut that. Okay, so we're just gonna pop that one on too. It's gonna work out. I'd love to know if there are other things that you guys have messed up that you have not been able to figure out a solution to. I know most of the time we have those creative brains and we're able to come up with ways to fix things. Sometimes just an embellishment in just the right place will do it for us. Okay, let me come in with this. If friends were pumpkins, I'd pick you. Sentiment. We're just going to do exactly what we did before. And I kind of like the dimension that it gives, and this is a little bit different piece of designer series paper as far as the coloring. And so I really think it brings even a little bit more attention to the sentiment. So I like that. Okay, let's get some pearls. And then let me see if I can find my marker that I used earlier. So this is a favorite thing that I'm doing lately, is using my Stampin' Blend markers. And this one is the Dark Pumpkin Pie. And there's two different brush tips. We've got more of a fine tip and a broader tip on these markers. So they're alcohol-based markers. You can use them to color embellishment. So we're just going to add a little color to, I've done a couple of them, to some of these pearls. And what's great is you can actually add multiple layers of color if you want to. So it does take just a second for that to dry, but you can add that color with your blends. You can do that on ribbon, you can do it on embellishments. If you use something that has like facets to it, maybe even like our rhinestones, you want to be gentle. You don't want to damage the tip of your marker, but just gently add that color, and it makes everything coordinate perfectly with your project. So that's really fun. Okay, where did my take your pick tool go? So I think that those have had time to dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and add. They always stick to my finger, y'all. I think because I end up with a touch of liquid glue on me. But let's see, I think I added one down here. We'll go ahead and put one up on the sentiment once again. I like that. And then we'll just add one more, maybe right in here. You could certainly add your pearls just with that same kind of vanilla color if you want to, but I like adding the pumpkin pie. I think that makes it really stand out, makes it pretty. So think about what embellishments or ribbon that you have that you could do that with, because that is a great tip to help make everything coordinate on your cards and really gives more value to the supplies that you already have. Okay, it is coming together, you guys. So let's see, I'll find my Wink of Stella again. Whoops, that's not it. Let's do just a little bit of splattering with it. And you can also take the brush, put it in the lid and kind of flick it. I find that that does not do quite as well as the tapping. But I'm glad you guys like that tip. Just be sure and use a fairly new Wink of Stella when you're doing that. Now, the added little touch that I have is to use this Bumblebee ribbon. It's been in our catalog a couple years now. Super versatile ribbon. Very, very cute. And we're just going to make a small bow, but I want it to have long tails because this pumpkin is a tall pumpkin. I thought that looked cute, having the longer tails to add. And I'll just snip that off right quick. And then I should have some glue dots. And we will just add that ribbon with a glue dot, our little bow, to this tall pumpkin. And our card is complete. It turned out good, you guys. I'm still a little bit wonky with that, aren't I? Let's fix that. Let's see. Let's see if that's better. I'm kind of at an odd angle with all of my gear up above, but I'll fix it if it's still a little bit wonky once I finish up the video. So there you go. We're using some annual catalog products along with some new mini catalog products and working on some fall cards. So I hope you guys like this. Let me know what you think. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our prize drawing. Each week, if you leave a comment on the video, if you like or share or send up a heart, I have a prize. And last week, our prize was a half package of this Tidings of Christmas Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 paper stack. Really pretty paper. Again, comes from the annual catalog, so I think it can easily be forgotten when we're working on those holiday projects. So this is going to go out to my friend, Becky Dixon. Congratulations, Becky. You are our winner for this week. And then for next week, our giveaway will be a package of the basic pearls. So this is a great item, a great embellishment to always keep in your craft stash. Perfect to add to so many projects. So I recommend having a package of the basic rhinestones and the basic pearls because as you can see, you can always color them and help them to coordinate with whatever project you're making. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. I'll post measurements and a supply list when I finish up the video. I sure do appreciate you being here with me. I love spending some time with you. Also a reminder, we have stamp class, next Saturday, the 18th. But today is the deadline to register. So head up to the events tab on this Stamp with CT Facebook page, or if you're part of my CT's Craft and Connect, I'm going to put a post there later about stamp class, or if you're on my email list, you received an email. I would love to have you join us. We're doing our stamp class virtually again this month, and we're going to be focusing on cute Halloween, and I think you're going to love the projects. Okay, y'all have a great week. I will see you again soon. Join me next Wednesday at 10 a.m. for some more time to craft and connect. Bye, you guys.